We are live, I believe.
We're good to go.
Do you want to do the marker today?
No, that's you. That's all you. I can't even clap nothing.
I didn't even think of it. Oh, we're going to keep that in. 1, 2, 3, marker.
All right, guys. Episode 3 of the N&M's Farmers Market. We are coming to you one day before Halloween. So there's definitely been some Halloween festivities. And unfortunately, your boy is on the injured reserve list. So didn't get to go to any festivities this year. Was just kind of laying low. But Mod, as you can see, is dressed for the part, man. How was your weekend been, bro? What you been up to?
Some good weekends. I had fun. That's all like you can ask for when you go to parties and stuff. And I love Halloween. See, like obviously, I wouldn't be in costume right now.
Yeah, man. He talked about it in the last pod how much he loves Halloween. He said it's pretty high up there for him.
Also, I'm calling this episode 2.5 because we might just be dropping half clips.
There we go. Episode. You're calling it 2.5?
Yeah.
We should call it 3.
Well, okay.
We'll call it 3, but yeah, because I think our first one was probably 1.5.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe this should be 2 officially, but yeah, we'll call it 3 for now. We'll see how the clips go.
We will figure it out. We're gonna figure this out, and you're gonna figure it out with us on this journey of podcasting. So
sounds good, man. How's the mic coming in right now with it that far away? How are we doing?
We're doing well. So we swapped mics, and there's a reason for that. And tell him why, Nate.
Oh, it's because your boy can't really be holding anything with his right hand for right now. So he's got the other mic for today. So he kindly let me borrow his studio mic that he drops his hot tracks on. So if my voice is coming in crispy clean, you know what's up.
Also, apologies for not having any music last time. We got to figure that out because I gotta purchase the rights to some of the stuff.
Hopefully we can. One of these intros will have his music coming in. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we're not liars. We just misinformed a little bit. No,
there you go. He's holding on to those damn tracks. We're gonna get these tracks out of him. All right, man. So what did you do this weekend? Well, you went to a couple of Halloween parties. When did you go? There was one during the week?
So I went to one last weekend.
Oh, it was last weekend.
Weekend. Really fun. Great time. Shout out Garrett and Anna. That was a really good time.
Cool deal, man.
And some great costumes there. So if we're going to go like best costume I saw.
Oh, yeah. Best costume.
Someone dressed up as Jeffrey Dahmer.
Bro,
and I know. No. The reason I say this is because if Evan Peters looked like this guy, I think it would have been bad. Like people would have been like, "This is way too accurate." He looked, and even his family was like, "We don't even recognize you." And he was making a comment to me. He loved it. I thought it was funny, but obviously it was pretty scary. Like how accurate he was, and like his outfit, the glasses, everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say that was the best costume, but definitely the most accurate. And then
what about what's the second one then? Let's get off this one.
Sure. So, oh man, that's just now you're putting me on. I guess who won the costume? So I really like the Average Joes. So we're going back to couples costumes.
Average Joes. So it was basically a squad of people from like Dodgeball.
Yeah, it was him and his girl, and they were the two main characters from.
Dope.
Yeah, okay, and that was really good. That's
a pretty good one.
I liked that. I saw Superman and Wonder Woman. I mean, DC.
Solid.
It's pretty easy. Yeah, it's a good one. I saw 2 people come as skeletons.
Right on.
So just a lot of cool couples costumes.
Cool deal. Yeah. Sounds like Mod had a good time from all the not safe, pod safe descriptions of it, but it sounds like
it was a great time. Frankenstein and Frankenstein's wife.
Right on.
That was a good one too.
Dope one.
I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, I also went to another party too. So shout out to my buddy Steven. That was a good one too.
Cool.
And trying to think if there was anything like that really stuck out to me as far as costumes besides the first one.
God, you just come in high.
I'm sorry, dude. It was scary good. I mean, like literally, that's the best way I could describe it.
You're like, we're gonna need you to leave this party, please.
Bro,
we're uncomfortable.
Seriously. I saw one guy. It definitely was homemade, and he was like an Olympic athlete. That was cool. I really liked that a lot because he got like little runners, like your marker, your number, and then he made fake medals, and that was cool. That was like real simple, like you would never think,
Cool.
I like that. Overall, good times this weekend though.
Nice, cool deal, man. Yeah. All right, so we have a couple of different topics today. Do you want to start the first topic, or do you want me to start the first topic?
Go ahead. I'm gonna be real. I blanked on the.
All right, we're gonna keep the sports one for later, so that if we got other people that are enjoying the pod, we can try to help make it a little bit more pod friendly or all inclusive.
All inclusive. We're gonna switch up our order for a bit, but we definitely have some interesting sports takes and like something we got to talk about that just happened in the game. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see. First topic, I guess this is kind of a one that, so we're one day away from Halloween. Mm-hmm. So we're literally 2 days away from everything turning into Christmas sale.
Right.
How are you how do you feel about the ending of Halloween, and then obviously the looking forward to all the other holidays?
All right, that's a great talking point. I like that. Thank you for bringing it.
Yeah.
So my thing has always been like, I just feel bad. If I was Thanksgiving, I would feel really I'd be like hurt because it's disrespected, man. They don't even give it a chance.
You're too close to Christmas, bro.
they just, and I think it's not their fault. It's not the holidays' fault. But it's just very interesting because like I think. So Nate got a new Christmas tree. We got the trees have been up since like the third week of October.
The trees have been up since like the first week of October. So
I kept
go to Costco and I'm like, Christmas, what the deuce? So literally was looking at Christmas trees for the last 3 weeks, and so yeah, it's not even November 1st. And for those of you that know me, I put it up like November 1st sharp usually, or like very early November, and so. Yeah, this year I had to get a new tree because I donated my one last year because it literally took me 5 to 6 hours to get like the tree fluffed up and ready. And so, yeah, I got a pretty dope new tree. And then Mod helped me, get it from Costco because your boy's on the injured reserve. And so we got this bad boy up. And so it's been up for a couple days even before Halloween. And so if anybody comes over to my house, they know. They're like, what are you doing? So
it's just tough, man. I literally see all the Christmas stuff, and it's nice. I will say that the nice part about it is it gives you that kind of push to, hey, you should probably start shopping for your Christmas presents right away. So I definitely take advantage of that because there's already a few things that I've seen that I'm like, this would be perfect for so and so, and I'm not gonna give any spoilers out, but so you can get it done pretty early. But yeah, it makes me sad, man. Like, we're literally not even at Halloween, and there's Christmas stuff
already peeking in, man. It's crazy.
Which don't get me wrong, I love Christmas. Like, Christmas is probably my second favorite. Like, I would say for me, it's Halloween, and then 4th of July and Christmas are like. I know this is kind of weird, but 4th of July because it was always around my birthday. So my birthday is the 30th of June. So that
it's very close.
Yeah, just transition. Like, I would take all my birthday money and buy fireworks. Yeah, so. That's why 4th of July for me. But in terms of holidays, like, I just love Christmas and stuff. But it's kind of weird how like everyone just forgets about Thanksgiving.
Bro, I've never been a big on Thanksgiving. I think it's because I was always running around like to family things, and it was either like one family or another family thing. And so the older I got, it seems like it's been more stable where it's just like one house. Yeah. Everybody's coming to the one house, and so then it's been easier for sure. So I don't know.
Yeah, my dad's birthday is sometimes on Thanksgiving, so that's what's made it like fun for us. And I think that's why I get disappointed that it gets overlooked.
It just gets freaking overlooked. Okay, so speaking a little bit about Thanksgiving, what is like your favorite? Okay, are you a ham guy or are you a turkey guy?
Ham all the way. And I've recently become the cooker of the turkey at my family's Thanksgiving. Because I have a smoker, and there's some things that happen with my grandma that's a little bit more difficult for her to cook.
Yeah.
But I take full advantage of that because I enjoy the hell out of cooking for big groups of people.
Yeah, I know. So Mario's he's got a smoker. He's got his whole rig going on. I'm a ham guy. Same. I'm like love me some ham. Really, I'm not about turkey. Turkey's always dry unless it's got the gravy, bro. So it's like, even if you get the dark meat, it's like sometimes just not there. So ham's my go-to. I'm also like a salt fiend, so it's just like...
Yeah, well, if you cook the turkey right, and so I'm for sure 100% ham. Like, I don't think I'll ever change. But I've had some turkey, and I made a really good one last year where you kind of question yourself a little bit. Like, oh my God, I might actually be a turkey person. But it's just, you have to brine it. There's a lot more work.
What, okay, is it smoked?
Yeah.
Fried, deep fried, or baked, or like in the oven.
Best turkey I've ever had was smoked, but I've had some really good deep fried ones as well.
I've had some really good deep fried ones.
Yeah. Don't go kill yourself if you deep fry turkey.
Yeah, please don't blow up your house or catch your house on
Let it
fire.
defrost, people. Like, come on now.
Oh, God. It's horrible.
Oh, my God. Brings me to a great story if we want to get this story real quick.
Go
So, basically, I was in charge of making the turkey for Friendsgiving one year. And I kind of wanted to save this for Thanksgiving, but...
We can save it.
Yeah, okay, let's say we're
going to pin this. Yeah. Okay.
But
Sounds
anyway,
good.
it was a funny story. But yeah, man, don't go blow yourself up.
Yeah, don't do that. None of that. Okay. Next thing is probably, I guess, would be Christmas. So Christmas already up. The things that we kind of wanted to bring up was like, hey, if you guys are looking for gifts, either looking for your boyfriend, husband, buddies, Best Buy already has Black Friday sales.
Yeah,
so
which
keep an eye out.
Crazy that they're already doing this. Some really good deals on TVs too.
Yeah, so Costco's got some deals up right now. So keep an eye out for that. In the next pod, hopefully I'll have a couple of tech items that I would say are really cool buys. And so we'll show you a few of those. One thing that we kind of wanted to go over today was the cologne option. Do you want to do this now or do you want to do this later?
We'll do it later because I can bring it. I don't have it with me, right? It's in my bag because I'm definitely not staying in this costume the whole time.
Because you don't want to commit to the costume.
Dude, it's too much leg. I'm sorry. I thought I showed too much leg last time.
I don't think we can drop the first episode because I changed midway and then it was literally just like my basketball shorts and those shorts be just a whole lot of thigh. And then I'm just like, happen to be like, man, this is too much thigh.
Yeah, you would have thought. He would have thought I was the turkey you were cooking this.
Have you seen that TikTok? I've seen so many TikToks where like they have people like act like they're in whatever position and all of a sudden they like transition from them like working out or being in like leggings to being like the turkey.
Yeah, that was good stuff, man. People are creative as hell. Yeah. Like, I don't
know. Okay. So let's transition over to a very brief, I think, follow-up from our previous discussions in terms of the Lakers follow-up. We're going to just do a very brief segment and we'll try to keep this as under 10 minutes for this NBA discussion.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about your Lakers? 6 games in.
What are we, 0-5?
0-5 right now.
So I will say a lot of what we said the first time applied. Like it was pretty much like a crazy that we mentioned some of this stuff and then it's actually coming to fruition. So, or you know the word. I don't know.
Yeah, that was actually that was correct.
I know what word I'm trying to say. Sometimes I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't know. My brain doesn't work right. There's a lot of things going on that I think aren't fixable at this point, right? Like you could have a really good coach and your team just doesn't have it. I think right now we're saying the team just doesn't have it. I also saw today, and don't quote me because like I didn't read the article, I couldn't find it, but Danny Green apparently was taking shots at the GM Rob Pelinka.
Danny Green?
I think it was Danny Green. I'll have to double check because he was part of the team that won.
Oh, the year that they won.
Right. We'll edit this if it wasn't Danny Green, but someone was taking shots at Rob Pelinka, and I didn't get a chance to see the article because when I clicked the alert on my app, it didn't redirect me correctly. Bleacher Report, you need to get your shit together. Sometimes I'm just like, dude.
I didn't see that one, so I will say, well, this is consistent in terms of, and this is what I said at one of our either first or second pod, is that I don't know what Rob Pelinka was doing. First of all, they re-signed him to an extension, but that roster doesn't make sense, dude. They literally doubled down on a non-shooting roster around LeBron that, in terms of all the times that he's had success, he's had nothing but shooters around him, or lots of shooters around him.
Yeah.
And they don't have a single three-point shooter on that team. So
it's bad. Yeah.
So I think in the words of you from our previous podcast, buck those picks. I'm gonna try to skip on the F-bombs.
I know. I gotta cut back on my F-bombs.
And then I saw Stephen A. Smith and Jay Williams talking about either trading for whatever, those picks and whoever for likely either Buddy Hield or and Turner from the Pacers, or trading LeBron, which that was a hot topic that was a hot take last time. Me saying like, "Yo, trade him." But at this point, if I'm LeBron, I don't know if I want to stay just to lose these next couple of years, because I really don't think that the team is constructed well. I will say that I think the Lakers want to keep him there until he breaks Kareem's record of all-time points leader, but I don't know.
So we talked about like tanking for Wemby, like your Wemby dude.
Tank for Wemby, bro.
The Lakers don't even own their first round pick this year. It would go to the Pelicans. So if you're gonna trade LeBron and you're just
doesn't make any sense. It'd have
to get first round picks for LeBron and Anthony Davis to at least give yourself a chance.
Well, the problem is that you'd have to get a third team involved, because you can't directly trade them to any team, because whatever team that you trade them to, they're not going to do bad because LeBron's on the team. Like, they're going to do just well enough to not be a top.
So a good place.
Oh no,
the good place. I hate to say it, but like, I don't know. Let's just say the Thunder were like, hey, you can have these picks. We'll take it. But hear me out. There's some teams this year, like we talked about. There's gonna be some weird stuff going in.
We wanted to run this one back.
There's gonna be some weird stuff happening. There's some teams this year that are performing really well, and I know it's super early, right? Like this.
Tell me your surprising list so far. I can think of at least
the
one.
Thunder caught me off guard. Utah's still looking pretty solid, even though. So I think, and one team we didn't talk about that the Lakers possibly trading with is Utah, getting Jordan Clarkson back, and
there's no way that Clarkson's gonna. Well, I don't know if Clarkson was on there for. I don't know if they sign up for that because.
Well, and here's the thing: I don't think Utah wants to be winning. So now that they're seeing that they're winning, they're probably gonna be pissed off, and they're like, "We need to get rid of people."
I think they're gonna win until half the year, and then they're gonna see what pieces they have, and they're gonna be like, "All right, we know what we have. We're gonna either jettison whoever, or we're gonna trade for whoever." But I think that. I think we're going to see for the first half of the season that people are actually playing and they're trying to win. And then at the halfway point, they're going to be like, we're not going to, even if we make the playoffs, we're going to be in first round bounce.
Yeah.
Surprising team for me is the Portland Trailblazers. Yeah, and I want to say that I think that we were sleeping on Dame Lillard, which I feel I did what other people were doing to Steph and Clay and the Warriors last year. But you forget he's pretty much him and CJ McCollum pretty much took those Portland Trailblazers team to the finals in the East. He obviously got swept by the Warriors, but
I definitely want to pull my take back, and not for the reason you think. I still think there's a chance that they're starting off hot, right?
This is a surprise. Well, we should preface this as it's a surprising start.
Yeah. But here's my thing. Like, I didn't take into account, like, they basically had a Warriors situation last year, right? Because they had a whole year without Damian Lillard, and it gave everyone else a chance to become who they probably would have been. Sometimes I don't think players fully develop because there's a star player on the team.
Well, there's that Anthony. I can never remember.
Simmons.
Yeah, Simon.
Dude, he is hooping. Like,
yeah, he played great last year.
So I don't think if Lillard is there, you don't get as much development. And I think
definitely got
now
way more playing time because of it for sure.
I think now you have a situation to where when you take what you had, all those young guys have gotten 1 year better, and then you add a guy like Damian Lillard, who my sleeper pick for MVP this year, just the way he's hooping. Dame for MVP. He's got the numbers. Right there. If you look at his numbers,
that's good. I'm not mad at it. I like Dame. Dame has been like
players that have impressed me
since he came into the league
a ton early in the season. So I'm gonna say Damian Lillard, Steph Curry.
Give me your top 5 for MVPs this year.
Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka, Giannis again, and then I would say the last spot you could throw either Ja or Devin Booker in that last spot. Devin Booker's been hooping when it matters now.
Devin Booker, I'm happy to see that looks like he might have to carry them to they're one piece away, and Crowder being on their bench they need somebody for that piece, so they got to ship him and pick up a solid person for that.
So we can jump into this real quick.
Go for it.
Would you trade Chris Paul?
I would trade Chris Paul for the right piece, because I think that we're only seeing in the decline. At least in the playoffs wasn't good, and he may have been hurt. He may not have been hurt, but it just seems like I think we've seen Chris Paul's best days, and I don't think that I don't think he's going to be able to guard anybody in the playoffs, and he's going to be a liability defensively.
You know who I think puts the Suns over the edge and probably like going to freak people out? I think Reggie Jackson. If you could somehow snake him from the Clippers, oh, dude, I'm telling you, he fits that perfect.
Because they already have plenty of scoring, I think. Well, I don't know. I guess their second team is...
They don't have like another shot creator, though. Everyone else plays off ball. And so if you have him and Devin Booker, and he also is pretty good at facilitating when he needs to, I think you're sleeping on that a little bit. I don't
know, man. Well, because maybe. Who knows? Maybe. I'm not mad at the pick. I don't know if it's a lateral move, though. Like, I think that CP...
he does enough, but his inconsistent.
He's inconsistent now. Yeah. Like the last 2-3 years, he was playing fantastic, and then I'm like, maybe he's not going to be. He's going to pull a LeBron where he just plays into his late 30s and is playing fantastic. But he's definitely slowed down since he turned, I think, 38 or whatever his last.
However old he is.
Yeah, so he's up there.
Some good stuff, man. I mean, yeah, but in terms of the Lakers, I just. It's hard to be a fan, and the annoying part is like, I was those rough years after Kobe left, right? I was okay with us getting killed because I knew we were that bad. But the fact that we've been in every game and then we still find a way to lose, that's hard. That's hard as a fan, dude, because you're just almost just like you either get rid of everybody or you figure it out and like you trade someone. And so I don't want to be where we're at. We're basically in like NBA limbo, dude.
I don't know what you guys are doing. I don't know what you guys are doing. I hope that you guys you know what? I don't hope that you guys. I hope you guys continue to lose. I hate the Lakers, so I'm not gonna. Damn. I used to be a LeBron fan, and then he went to the Lakers, and then like I secretly like I feel like I root against the Lakers actively, and I'm like, you're no longer my boy. But then I'm like, sometimes I'm like, they got to figure something out for him. But then I'm like, no, they don't. You know what? Continue to lose. I don't care.
You know what? Hate is a strong word.
I only have 2 hate teams. And your boy, one of my best friends, is over here holding the freaking Lakers and the Cowboys bag over here.
You know what? Hey, we'll get back into football in a minute. But like, Cowboys look good today.
Well, yeah, they did. They put the whooping on the Bears.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on today in sports. Like literally, like we were just.
Hold on. Let's get into. I got one more NBA thing, and then we'll get to that. Okay. Last thing. Do you think that Steve Nash makes it out of November as the Nets coach?
No, and here's why. Because I don't think that Steve. First of all, I don't think Steve Nash is the problem.
I don't think he's the problem.
But they need a scapegoat, like we talk about all the time. Someone has to be the guy, right?
I think they're definitely blaming it, and I actually have the better scapegoat. But go ahead.
We can talk about this later.
Yeah.
I already knew where Nate's going with this, but I just don't see him getting out, and it's not because he's a bad coach. Like I really do think Steve Nash has a chance to be kind of like a Jason Kidd, where he has his first run. It was kind of,
Yeah.
Some things happened, right? Same thing happened to Jason Kidd. Some things happened
at the Nets.
Yeah, he had like they gave him a bad situation and said, "Hey, this looks good on paper. Figure it out."
It's tough. It's next level tough to be coaching the players that he has there, because they have 2, maybe 3 of the most like potentially what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say compromise. They're just difficult players. So you have Kai, who I'm not a fan of, and Mario loves his on the court play, but I don't even love his on the court play. Like if it's just him and another team, he's losing. Look at all his teams. He's like a cancer every time he goes to another squad. This is a hot take, and like I probably shouldn't be going this hard on him, but he went to the Celtics, tanked the Celtics. He goes to the Nets, they're tanking. He goes and has like basically a year and a half sabbatical because he has like this mission that he's going on. He's just had some super hot comments on Twitter or something like that. I'd rather not talk about them just because I don't want that. But he's off the court shenanigans. Like it doesn't make up for his on the court play, because his play, I don't think he's not that dude. He's a very good second or third option. But if he's your number 1 option, which he's not technically because of KD, but he's really 1A, 1B with KD. Yeah. And KD, obviously, I think is still not quite himself since the injuries.
We're not going to talk about the analogy I gave you.
Yeah, we're not going to do
that. To Kyrie and how I feel about him, but I definitely would agree with Nate in what he said. Like No, sorry, let me take that back. I love Kyrie the player. The person, I'm very hesitant to, because some of the things he does, I don't. How would I describe this?
I don't. You have to be very. You got to totally.
Yeah, I don't really know how.
I have to be very
right. I don't really know how I would describe Kyrie like as a person. Now as a hooper, dude, I love Kyrie the Hooper. Like I've loved him since Duke. And our buddy Ryan, shout out Ryan. He's a very big he's a Cavs fan, and so like when he first came in, like me and Ryan used to live together, so there was nothing but like hype train on Kyrie. So, but like in terms of like I said, in terms of a player, dude. Like yeah, dude. I just think I'm trying to describe like how I feel about him as like the person, though. I don't know. We'll come back to that later. Maybe I'll have something to think about that. I don't.
On him. Yeah, he does very questionable things. I think that
it's hard.
People like to call him an intellect, and I don't think that's the word I would use to describe him.
So I feel like he is smart, but sometimes I think sometimes people are too smart for their own good, and I don't think he's like. Oh, I know Nate doesn't agree with me, but like, do you know how sometimes people think they're smarter than everyone?
That's him. He thinks he's
smarter than everyone, yeah. Right? And it's okay to be dumb sometimes. I'm and not know everything, and I'm okay.
His flat Earth take. Yeah. You lose all credibility with me at that point. So.
I'm just saying, man. Like me and Kyrie are the same age, so it's funny how like I have a different. Like it's like. Egos sometimes are a hard thing to check, man, and some people have never had their ego checked, and I think
I'm sure professional athletes are.
But no, man, Kyrie the Hooper, I think you're under. He's when he's in his bag, dude. We'll
see what goes on, and then so sorry, getting back to the thing. So he essentially had
like
Steve Nash had Kyrie Irving. He has Ben Simmons, who
we'll talk about
won't
that later.
Shoot a jumper to save his life, and I don't think can shoot a jumper, and then obviously. KD was asking for Steve Nash to get fired at the end of the year. So I
think that's why you see a lot of buddy from Steve Nash with Kevin Durant.
Well, he's definitely trying. He's trying to fight for him, but that's a tough job for a first year coach coming in, or like a first time coach coming in. I don't think that's been very successful.
Steve Nash could change one thing and when he gets his next job, because I think he will get another head coaching job, because I don't really see him making it out of this unless have a miracle. I think he'll change his approach to be more like if he's going to be like a player's coach, right? I think he'll be a little bit more Phil Jackson and not I'm your best friend, right? And I think that's maybe where he effed up right now is like trying to be their best friend.
It's tough
because like sometimes men want to be led, right? And I think to manage those personalities, you need to be a leader of men.
You would have to be you'd have to command some type of respect, and I don't know if that's quite happening.
I don't think he's earned it, and I think so. Here's my thing: I don't think KD respects anyone. He does, and he does it right. Like I think when you're that good of a player, it's hard for you to look at a coach and be like, you know what the fuck, you know what I mean? So there's very few people I think Kevin Durant could look at and be like, I'll listen to what he has to say. And so when you're Steve Nash, I think he changed your approach a little bit, and I think that's why it worked with Kerr, because I think he let his players coach Durant.
Well, yeah. Well, they had such a stable nucleus, whereas you come in, and I could really describe that as the most unstable nucleus.
No, we can talk about this later, but I really do feel like the war. I don't think Kerr really coached Durant as much as he spoke to Curry and Iguodala and Draymond and said, hey, I need you guys to...
I think they had already had a culture established, so they're like, hey, man, this is how we do things. So
and you guys... And I'm not going to get on him, right? I might let him get away with some things, but you as players need to hold him accountable.
Right.
And because they had the respect already, and he knew why he was there, he listened to them.
Yeah.
And so, like, when I say he doesn't respect people, it's not that he doesn't have respect for anybody. It's just, as a coach... Yeah. Okay.
We got 1 minute.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. We're going to take a break from this. I know we got long-winded on some of those answers for NBA, but we'll be back in a second segment or a third segment because we might flip these around a little bit. So, all right, guys. See you in a bit.
Recording.
All righty, guys. Welcome back. Okay. So, hopping into our next segment. Given the recent festivities, I guess we wanted to kind of chat about just do's and don'ts for parties, and I guess we can do this specific to Halloween parties.
Yeah.
I feel like you've been to more Halloween parties than I have, so I'm going to let you lead this discussion at this point.
So I would say a do for a Halloween party is to be super helpful. sometimes Halloween parties are a lot of work.
Okay.
So if you
offering help,
right?
Makes
If
sense.
you know the person throwing the party, you're pretty good friends with them. I would say like, maybe keep in mind like, hey man, do you guys need anything? How can I be helpful?
Cool.
They require a lot of work. If they're willing to use their house as the space, don't be afraid to help out. Be a good friend.
I think that's a good friend move, especially you know just
from
parties in
experience,
general. You're gonna end up having to clean up, and we're setting up, or even just kind of like, hey, do you have somebody for setup? Do you have somebody for takedown? Like, what's the plan? So,
big don't, and this can vary, right? Because we're at a different point in our lives.
Yeah, I would say so.
Don't be that person that brings everybody. Okay.
Unless you've approved it. I think unless you were the person designated to bring the people.
Yes.
Because there's obviously that person too. It's like, hey man, bring all your friends because they're the person, they're the contact. Which I think we a lot of times were in late college.
Bring everyone.
Yeah. And then there's some people that like, hey man, you didn't tell me you're bringing 20 people to the party, and then it's just great. It can definitely be a different vibe for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so this is a big do for me.
Okay.
If someone asks you to partake in like a theme or it's a costume party, try to be a part of it, man. Like, don't be that person that shows up and be like, I don't do costumes. Well, then you might as well not do parties, because like, or at least the Halloween party. Like, I get it, some people don't like to dress up, but hey, at least be respectful of like what's going on, and like if you're not gonna be in costume, then don't be the dick of the party. Like,
yeah, I think that makes sense. Seems like a simple.
Yeah, that's another don't.
Suggestion.
Or I guess a do and a don't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it, like anything you can think of that like bothered you that you would be like, don't be that guy or don't be that person, I guess.
I think my thing was always like just being respectful of the people's homes. You know, obviously they're offering up their home. They're trying to make this space for you. Please try to make sure you're just being respectful of, their homes, making sure like, hey, am I okay? Can I go to this room, or can I go to this bathroom or whatever? Big don't for me, and would just be no drinking and driving. Please try to coordinate, some type of DD to the best of your ability. I think that's kind of a big deal. Is
So a do, I would say, is like if you're trying to have like a great, like in a massive Halloween party, but not like a massive, but just like a decent size. Definitely get in touch with your neighbors, man. Don't be the guy that throws the party.
That's a good,
Dude, definitely be friendly with your neighbors. Make them aware, right? Just because you own your house and you have your space and you're an adult now or whatever, like doesn't give you the right to be a dick. So be friendly, be inviting. Sometimes they might want to party
courteous.
with you.
Right.
Yes,
just be courteous, right?
Yeah, and a good tip. Like for what we've done a couple times, we actually would go to them and be like, hey, thanks for being understanding. Like, we're having a party. Here's this. And we would actually give them like gift cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
To thank them, if they weren't the party type or they were a little bit older, and if they had any things that they wanted us to be aware of, like, don't have people parking here. It's just a good chance for you to like
get to know your neighbor,
right?
And make sure that you don't want to burn those bridges. Obviously, you just want to be.
It pays off, man. It really does. Like, being a good person. But that's an excellent thing I learned, and you can thank college for that. And like it did pay off. Like, just because there were like, and Nate can attest this, we were the party house. There were a couple times where it paid off for us to be friendly with our neighbors, because I think like if we weren't, those parties would have definitely gotten a lot different, and we wouldn't have been able to have some of those parties. So some good tips just in case like you're throwing a Halloween party and you want
I think those are some good basics, at least good things to keep in mind. If you're the person throwing it, you're the person coming to it, just trying to be mindful of if you're attending or if you're obviously the one throwing it, things to keep in mind. Okay, those are good.
Cool.
All right, next topic, and this is coming from one of our good buddies, and he kind of threw us this alley-oop, and so
speaking of alley,
alley-oop, I know alley.
It's an alley.
It's from our buddy Ali. And so things that I guess the question would be solo hobbies and why they're good, or how do you feel about solo hobbies?
So I think they're super important. Like, whether you're in a relationship, you're by yourself, you're trying to figure out who you are, like solo hobbies are super important. Like, I think if you're trying to be a productive person and thrive, right, you need to have solo hobbies. Like, you need to have something that's stimulating your brain. And I think that's important. How do you feel?
Yeah, man, I'm I love solo. I like solo hobbies. I have like I enjoy my alone time. Even obviously I've been in some longer relationships, and there's been different dynamics. And then there's people that have been like very attached at the hip, and then there's been people that are very like laid back. And I will tell you that for me, my personality is I like my space, and so. That's kind of, whether that be working out, which is I know that one of the big things that you like to kind of do, and then like me is golfing. So I like really enjoy, even if I like to do it with my with my pops and some friends, but I used to like just going by myself and just like dialing in and just having that alone time. You're on the golf course, you kind of got the wilderness, or you're like outdoorsy at least to a degree, and golf in general is just like a super mental game anyways. And so you're just out there, with your own thoughts and kind of thinking about things. And I don't know, I liked it. I liked the solace to it and just having that thing to myself. Whenever I was younger, I used to work out a ton by myself. What are your thoughts, or what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Like for me, it probably would be like the gym. I mean, you could say it's like an activity, and like it's part of my routine now. Like so if I don't go, I feel bad.
Yeah.
But I would say it's like a hobby, right? Like, because I don't do it professionally.
Right.
I obviously do it for my health. And honestly, I think I do it more so I don't end up fat because of the way I eat. I mean, I need to get my diet in check. But it is my space, and it is my hobby, Like, it is the thing that I do for my space. Like, honestly, it's one of my forms of therapy, I would say. Like, and a solo hobby can be that for you. Like, if it's not that, it's me doing videos or just working on projects. We could talk about other things too, but like for me, the big thing I probably would say is like the gym.
Yeah, gym. You work on music.
Work on music. That's like I said, like it's like a therapy. Like I gotta do by myself. Video games too. Like I do it with my friends, but there are times where like I'll play video games by myself.
Yeah, I think there's some that are more dedicated or more designed just for you.
For me, yeah, just a little free time. There's other stuff, but like those are like the main things that like I can think of right now.
Yeah. I think it's good to have something to yourself. Like this is something that you're working on, like whatever it is, like, but you have that alone time to think, process things, whether that just be like, hey, I like to take a walk by myself, or I want to go for a run by myself, or a bike ride. And I think that it's healthy to kind of have activities that you do separately that are just allow people to breathe and have space to grow. Obviously you want to grow with your partner, or just, and there's plenty of things that you can do together, but I have always appreciated those times that I have to myself in terms of working on something, whatever that be, and not having to worry about everything else. I enjoy that time to myself.
Yeah, I will say, man, like there was a part of me like when I went through like one of my more like difficult times in my relationship, like I like lost that part about myself. So that's why I think it's super important to have those hobbies, because I went from being this like super independent person to like a needy bitch, is like the only way I could describe it. Like I really was. And I'm happy it happened, because now I understand, right? But cause I hopefully don't ever lose that part of myself again. But I need to have my free time now, man. Like, and I've learned that, because like at the end of the day, you only have yourself. And so if you don't have those hobbies to keep you occupied, playing basketball is like another one, right?
Dude, I used to just
play tons of basketball. Like I can go by myself.
Yeah, just shoot some hoops. Like I would do it for hours by myself, doing drills, shooting, working on stuff. I don't know. It's just I like it in terms of just having time to yourself to think. Yeah. I do a lot of thinking.
Yeah.
Or in terms of like, I enjoy those hobbies that just kind of process stuff.
Some of the best ideas and best decisions I've ever made in my with my life have come from being at your lowest point, but also being by yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to you got to really look yourself in the mirror and figure out like, are you doing the things that you want to do? Mm-hmm. And I don't think that happens when you're with someone else. Like it's a distraction, unfortunately. Like, and it really is. Like sometimes you forget to, kind of have that moment of like, is this the best thing for me? Because you're able to distract yourself with someone else. And it's nice to have that other person there, but you need that alone time. Like I I think you know where I'm going with this, but
Yeah,
like,
man.
yeah, like we can. This would definitely be something we could talk about later. Like, and like, you know, if you're looking for a hobby or like how to get yourself back to that point. Because I think we both have been to that point where like, you know, you kind of lose yourself a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing in terms of having that in your routine or having that thing to yourself. It helps keep you stable and helps kind of anchor you down in terms of being like, hey, I have this thing that's mine alone. Don't need anybody else to, you know, be with me or to kind of accompany me for some of this stuff. And I think that makes sure that you don't lose yourself whenever you do get, because it's very easy, I think, whenever you're in certain relationships that can be consuming and that, you know, it occupies a lot of mental space and capacity, and you know, you may in terms end up losing yourself just because you're so involved in that relationship.
And you never want to, like, of course you want to take good things from your partner, right? But you also want to maintain who you were, because that's why they.
I think that's a good segue in terms of being like, hey, don't. Sometimes I feel like your partner, or at least partners, lose interest. In whoever they're dating because of the fact that they appreciated you for who you were and the things that you were, and if you're very independent, and then there's like a very fine line where they may want to have all your attention and take all your time, but then you end up losing yourself in that thing, and then they may lose interest in you in terms of like, oh, you're no longer the same person. Well, I'm not, because you know I became
this us versus
right. Agreed.
It's tough. Relationships are tough, but I think if you always maintain that sense of self, no matter what happens in the relationship, you can leave knowing, okay, well, I still know who I am and still have your identity, and move forward with that. And I think that's the important part of like having individual hobbies and things you do by yourself, because that's always going to go with you, right? Whether you're in the relationship or not, like people are going to know you as the things that you do. And so as long as you maintain like that sense of self, like, you know, things don't work out in the relationship, at least you have yourself, you know? So
Agreed. Okay, let's see. One segment we kind of wanted to get into, or things that we wanted to talk about with the upcoming holidays coming up. And so if you're looking for good gift ideas for your husband, boyfriend, brother, buddy, things that we kind of wanted to touch on today are some colognes that we are high on our list, or at least some gems that I think that may not be. There's a couple that we have that maybe aren't as well known, and then one that I think is a very obvious one that I'm going to say that everyone and their buddy is probably wearing. But if you don't want to be that buddy, we got a couple other options. So
some free game, man, because we were talking about this earlier. I don't tell a lot of people about what I'm wearing. Sometimes I'll lie about like, oh, when they ask me what cologne are you wearing, I won't tell them.
I will tell you that Mario has, you know, he's definitely put me on some colognes, but there was one cologne that he wouldn't tell me what it was up until just recently, and I don't think it was by design, but it's one of the ones that he's going to talk about today. So
it wasn't that I didn't want to tell him. I just thought he was talking about something different.
Yeah, that's right. Because then he ended up giving me another one. So it was. He's not holding out on me, man.
The reason is because I keep a bottle of it in my car in case, like, you know, you just never know when you need to. And I did it, and he was like, "Bro, what the? That's the one I've been talking about." And I'm like, "Oh, my bad, bro. I didn't." Anyway, we'll go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about maybe a very common one, and we're going to start with this one first. So
all right, cool.
This one is Sauvage, and I'm sure we'll put a clipping of it or whatever whenever we do the video.
We'll clip the bottle.
But this is the EDP, or the Eau de Parfum. It's pretty long lasting. Smells really great. One of the things that it's very well complimented, and I'm going to go over some of the descriptions of it just because I obviously didn't memorize them, but the way that they describe it as, it has pepper and Calabrian, which I'm very good at pronouncing things, but not this stuff.
Yeah, being a pharmacist, you have to be.
So, Calabrian bergamot, and then there's Sichuan pepper, pink pepper, vetiver, elemi, geranium, and lavender. And then it says it closes with fresh hints of labdanum, cedar, and ambroxan. So it smells fantastic. If you haven't ever had it, give it a try. If your boyfriend, buddy, or whoever is looking for a new cologne, very classic. That one's the one that's very common, and I would say a lot of dudes are wearing that one right now.
So quick thing before we jump to the next one, like couple recommendations just that I have, like from when I first started eating cologne to where I'm at now. Don't judge it based on how it smells on the stick or in the store.
Very good.
Put it on your skin.
Yeah, very good.
Give it even like 20 minutes and smell it again, because I'm gonna tell you right now, like our bodies react
pheromones.
And they react differently to different colognes. So even though you might spray it initially and you don't like the way it smells, the dry down sometimes on some of these is fantastic. Like, so for example, like with the one he just described, the Sauvage, the EDP, like you're gonna spray it and you're gonna be like, that's weird.
It just smells like pepper. Real heavy. Yeah, it
smells like pepper at the beginning, but once you let that shit dry down, dude, oh my god,
that one smacks. Things, very basic things that you guys, and whoever, if you guys go get colognes or perfumes or whatever, but like very quick thing that we probably could have said is like, there's EDTs. So those are eau de toilettes, and those are those won't last as long.
Some of them are pretty strong, but for the most part,
those ones should be a little bit less long or like not last as long. There's EDPs, which are eau de parfums. Those ones will last a bit longer, and then there's parfums, and those are just gonna last super long. So it depends. And so a couple of these you don't really need to spray. So specifically for the Sauvage, like if I spray that one, if I do 2 sprays of that one, that's gonna last me like all night. Probably even last me throughout the day.
I spray more.
Yeah, I'm a lighter sprayer. Madio's a heavier sprayer. I obviously can't wear them at work, so I have tons of bottles that end up kind of accumulating. So there's I don't get to wear it as often as I'd like, I think. But
yeah, I would say
how many pumps? Okay, so I use 2 to 3 depending on the cologne.
Yeah.
How many? Like, there's a stark difference between our two. So how many pumps do you normally do?
Depends what I'm wearing and where I'm going. So like, for example, like when I go to the gym, people that ask me all the time, like, you spray cologne going to the gym? I'm like, yeah, I don't want to stink, dude. But okay, so there's a reason for that. We can talk about this. We can talk about this later, like why I think smelling good is important, because even sometimes when you don't look good, if you smell good, people will perceive you a different way. We can talk about how I think that's a great talking point for us to talk about, like how smell.
It's huge.
It's huge, it's a big thing. Especially like with me being in marketing and like how I know it affects a lot of things. We'll come back to that. But anyway, so it depends on where I'm going and like what I'm wearing, right? So like for like EDTs and stuff, I at least do 4, because I know it's not going to be very strong and it wears out. It might smell strong right away, but by the time I get to the gym and everything, like you barely can smell it. But at least when someone's next to me, they're like, this dude smells good. Well, I try not to wear anything heavy or real scenty. So like I would,
I wear lighter smells to the gym, or just like if I'm doing everyday stuff versus what I would wear at night or going out. Or something like that. So
like basic Aqua de Joe, like I know we don't have that one right now.
That'll be another one we can probably bring up.
But the basic version of it, the EDT, it doesn't last for shit. But it's really good to wear at the gym because it's something you can put on. You can spray a lot of it,
refreshing,
and it dies down pretty fast. Like I would be hesitant.
We'll throw a clip of that one, but that's another.
I would be super hesitant to wear like Dior EDP because the Sauvage anyway. Sorry, because there's a lot of different Dior colognes, but like Dior Sauvage EDP, because it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And it is light. Like, I mean, people would like it at the gym because it is like a real refreshing smell. I just would be very hesitant on how much I spray of that when I'd go. Just be cautious of everyone else, because not a lot of people want to smell you. And even if you smell good, you can offend some people. So
yeah.
But if I'm going out and I'm like, sometimes I kid you not, bro. There've been times where I'm like. Oh, and then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, do I still smell? Like, you become nose blind. I'm sorry. I'm that person. I'm sorry. I just like smelling good.
You normally are smelling. So speaking of you smelling good, okay. So let's talk about this one, because the amount of times that
on accident
we've been out and you have gotten complimented on either this cologne or some of the other clones. So this one is YSL Y. Because they have a lot of different brands, but it's YSL Parfum. Mm-hmm. And is the bottle around there somewhere? It's right here, brother. Oh, right here.
This bad boy has gotten me into trouble.
So we'll bring it up to the camera.
It won't go because it's not an autofocus. He doesn't know. He's learning about camera dynamics.
I'm not the camera guy. So Mod's in charge of the. Don't trust me with no camera.
We're gonna read off the notes. We gotta hurry because we're doing a great job on time management.
Yeah, this is the last one on this segment, so it's okay.
So from what this says, it's top notes are grapefruit, apple accord, ginger, and then the middle is sage, lavender, geranium, and then the base, which is typically the dry down, is cedar, tonka, and patchouli. There's other stuff too, but I'm not going to read those things because these things I'm reading are the main things.
It has like a musty, woodsy smell. It's fantastic.
It's a very... So the one thing that a lot of people describe, and we can talk more about this some other time, but like there's like blues colognes.
Yep.
And they're very like aquatic-y. That's like your Aqua de Jo's, like the Dior. Jimmy Choo. Yeah. Another good example is like Y, the regular Y, right? Because there's different levels. There's like Y EDP.
Right.
I can bring that one on too. I have that one too.
Yeah. This is the parfum though, right?
This is the parfum. And there's Y EDP. And then this is Y parfum. This one is like the more mature, like this is definitely like a
this
date.
is a date night. This is
date night if you're gonna go out, and it's very strong. It doesn't project like because I think
you're not gonna be smelling it down the road, but
right,
if people get a whiff of it.
Yeah, when people are next to you, like if you're looking for like a good date cologne or something that your girl's gonna be like, damn, what the hell was that? Like definitely, where I would and I would say this is a pretty hidden gem. It's a little pricey because it's a parfum.
Yeah.
But
with the price up, I think it's like $170 or pretty close to that.
Yeah, you can get it on discounters pretty good too. But I would say this one in the EDP from that line, dude, the EDP, and you'll smell the apple a little bit, but this one's more between the EDP and this one's very like more mature. This is like the way I'd like to describe it.
It's I describe it as like a mustier smell or like a more manlier
version of the EDP, because the EDP is so the EDP I actually like to wear that one to the gym because it smells real light and refreshing.
You said that you like that one slightly more, I think.
But everyday wear. But like for like dates and like if you're gonna go somewhere and you're just like gonna be around people close quarters, like dude, this one for sure. Yeah. Something about this one, it just smells like, I don't know how to describe it. Like
it's
the lavender.
Give it a try. Check it out, and like Mario said, for sure, try it on your skin. That's like a big thing.
Definitely try it on your skin, man. Because like I've even had colognes that I didn't think were like good, and then I put them on my skin, and then I came back to him later, and I was like, "What the fuck was that?" He had a sample of. We'll talk about this one later.
Oh yeah, we'll have to talk about
ombre leather.
We'll talk about the Tom Ford. We'll do it on another pod, but that one is like it's a next level smell, but it's
a very particular smell, but it was so fucking good. Like I woke up the next morning, and because I had sprayed it on my arm, I woke up the next morning with my hand across. I sleep weird, and I was like, "Damn, something smells good." It was the fucking.
That one smells so very. Good. I liked it. I will. Yeah, it was a mixed review with the people I was with whenever I went and bought it. So, getting into the last one before we run out of time. Go ahead, Nate. So the last one is Coach. And this is a eau de toilette, so it's an EDT. So it doesn't last as long. But this one is one that I wear. And I've had this one probably for about 4 or 5 years now, this type.
It smells really good.
This one will require you to reapply, especially because I only do like 2 to 3 sprays. And even sometimes 1 or 2 if I'm doing something where I don't really want people to be like overwhelmed with me. But like if I'm going out and I want to try to wear that one. But usually I might even spray it again while I'm out, because I'll have like a little travel one with me, like in the car. But that one smells really good. It has like a woodsy, kind of a tobacco-y smell to me. I could read out what it normally does, but I don't know what it is about it. It has like a very musty. I like it. It smells.
It's good. Like I will say for like the reapply, there's been times where like I didn't even know he was wearing cologne, and then there would be he had it in his truck. It would like get down to go eat somewhere. And I'll be like, bro, what the hell is that? It smells good. And he's like, that's the Coach. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that one smacks. So I don't even know if I said the name, but it's Coach. So Coach for men. And so, obviously. But the way that they describe it, it has fresh notes of lavender, bergamot, kumquat, grapefruit, and pear. And it has like the heart, they say, is refreshing with scents of coriander, geranium, cardamom, and then at the base, it's amberwood, which is that kind of woodsy smell that I get. Haitian vetiver, suede, and ambergris. But it smells fantastic. Very. I like kind of a woodsy, smoky smell to it. So I think it's like a mature smell, but very, very interesting smell for sure.
One last piece of advice, because we're almost out of time, but like, if you think a cologne smells like soapy, right, and you're just like, it smells like soap to me, I'm telling you, sometimes it's just the opening notes that they try to have real refreshing. And you just gotta let that shit dry down.
Let it dry down.
Yeah, you let it dry down. Let it
spray it on your body, man.
Let it be on your skin.
On,
girls can agree with me on this. Like when they do makeup, they test it on their skin, right? That's like your girl will go to the store and put it on her hand. Same thing for cologne, man. Just spray it on your skin. Don't trust the test strips, because I've had cologne where like
I've done that. I've been guilty of that, where I'm like, this smells fantastic, and then like literally the person helping you is like, spray it on your skin, and I'm like, if it doesn't. And I'm like guilty of being like, if it doesn't smell good, like they're like, no, but just try it. And then sure enough, I try it on the skin, and it's like, oh man, this smells
one of my favorite colognes ever is, and we'll talk about this one, but it's Acqua di Gio Profumo. Fuck, it's so good. But anyway, that one was I got that one as a result of like spraying it on my skin and being like, holy,
this smells completely
so
different.
fucking good. And I used to be a big, like, I only like the regular Acqua di Gio, and then I finally like get into the cologne game for a little bit. But then I've also had some where like I trusted the strip and I regret owning this.
Oh yeah, I've had a couple of those.
I had like Mercedes-Benz, like one of the really big Mercedes-Benz ones that everyone talks about is Black Club. But I have like a regular Mercedes-Benz. I don't even know the name, but dude, it is garbage. Like the performance and everything, it smells good, right? But,
on the strip,
but
and then
it's the first initial sprays, and then after that, you don't even smell the thing. And it was like a waste of money, I feel, because I still have the bottle, and I've had it for about 3 years, and I wear cologne. So the fact that I still have the bottle should tell you like how much I actually just wear that thing.
All right, guys. Well, we're gonna take a break, get into our next segment, but hope you guys like the recommendations we had for the colognes. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the comment section.
Yeah, man, more than happy to answer questions. I know there's a lot of, like, especially with the holidays and everything coming up, like, and maybe next time we'll talk about like good colognes to wear in cold, because there's definitely colognes you should wear in the cold versus like the hot times. Anything I'm going to tell you right now, everything we showed today, you can wear for both. The Parfum does better in the cold.
I feel like these are.
But I've worn it in the summer and gotten compliments in the summer. But it just depends on the situation. But we didn't recommend anything that you couldn't wear in both seasons right now, because there are some that like I would definitely not wear in the summer. It's just way too much.
Yeah, definitely a different vibe.
Yeah.
All right, guys, stay tuned. Thank you. All right, broski. Okay, coming into our last topic, or depending on where we chop this up and put it.
Might be the first. Might be the middle. We don't know.
We don't know. Okay, so wrapping up with some more sports stuff, since we led heavily with some other lifestyle stuff. How's your fantasy team doing, bro?
So interesting year for me in fantasy, because I play in 4 different leagues, all of them for money.
I can barely keep
track
of them.
So I'll just give you the rundown on the 3 most important ones. One of them is like a dynasty league where we keep them year over year, and it's really fun. It's just you have to think differently, because you don't want to get rid of guys because they're like, well, even though they're hurt, they might be good next year. Right.
That one's tough, I'm sure. I like that much better. Actually. I'm
getting killed today in that one. The other one that I'm in is a Yahoo league, and that one it's a pretty close game. That one's I'm like keeping an eye on that, because I'm borderlining like being a really good team and being a bad team. So I've been trying to make some moves, but I need to make some trades maybe in that league. And then there's the 12-man league that I'm in. That one's really fun too. We're all super competitive, and I'm playing my buddy Jordan, and I'm barely winning. That one I'm barely over 500. So I'm in the playoffs right now, so I need to keep afloat. And then I'm in this other league where the scoring just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how we score. I need to talk to my cousin about it, but I'm like legit. I put up 180 today, and I'm missing like 3 of my starters. Oof. And no, I mean, I know. Like, how are you? Because I've been doing really good on the waiver wire, because I lost 2 running backs, but it's like 181 to 109 right now, and he still has Josh Allen and Gabe Davis left to play tonight. So I'm gonna be paying attention to that, and I'm hopefully going into that up 80, because if I'm up 80, I feel pretty good. If I'm up only 60, I'm not. I don't know. Gabe Davis and Josh Allen could both put up 30. They're playing the Packers tonight, so
I'm down by 100 today, bro. The team I'm playing against right now has 170 at this point, and I have 66, and I have 20 sitting on my bench, but I have 3 people out. I have multiple running backs out. I lost the running back that was like one of my top running backs to start the year.
Yeah.
And then I have both the receivers out of New Orleans. I have Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry out. Like, they have been nothing but like hurt this entire season. I think I might need to package them and move them.
I need to start reminding this dude to put his fucking players
text
in,
me on
because
Thursday
he
mornings,
forgets to put his players in.
Dude, I would have won last week, and
Yes.
I had like 50 points sitting on my bench.
Who was it? I don't remember who played last Thursday.
DeAndre Hopkins finally came back.
Yes, and I literally was like, I have him in that
but
ESPN league, and I was like, dude, you see D-Hop came back? He had a good game for us. D-Hop came back? And I was like, they're playing tonight? And I was like, damn it, Nate. I was like,
dude, I
damn it.
didn't realize what day they were playing. I was like, oh my God. I knew he was coming back too, and I just like completely spaced it.
Yeah, that ESPN league is crazy. Like, one person in our ESPN league has put up the most points I've ever seen for a fantasy team. Well, I don't know. Actually, it might be 224.
That's pretty high.
Like, I don't know if you can have a better... Like, to have 2 people go off for 40 points apiece, like, that's crazy. I
think I lost the first week, and I had... Oh, no, I won the first week, but the second week I had, like, a ton of points, like, pretty close to 200, and then the guy I played against had, like, more, and it just, like...
We have some interesting scoring in that league, and I'm 2-5, right? I was projected to actually have the best team overall.
Mm-hmm.
So, my team's slowly coming around, especially with D-Hop coming back. Helped me a lot, but crazy thing. So, like, we'll move from fantasy to actual football. Like, we were watching the most Carolina and Atlanta Falcons game you can imagine in your life. So we literally turned the TV on. I was like, dude.
So they moved off of the Cowboys game, which was a complete blowout, and they moved to the Falcons Panthers game.
So the reason we did it is we were hoping that they were going to the Vikings and
who were they playing? Cardinals game.
We were hoping they were going to that game because obviously Nate's a Vikings fan, and I wanted to see the end of it. It looked like it was going to be pretty good because they were up 8 with like 2 minutes left. They go to a different game.
Yeah, they went to the... I'm like...
We were mad at first.
Bro.
Go ahead. You can,
so there's like 30 seconds left. We're looking at it. They have this quarterback that Washington? I didn't even know who he was.
I don't even know if his name was
Washington. And I was like...
He was balling.
I was like, I've never seen this guy. And they pulled up his stats. No touchdowns, 1 interception. I was like, well, this game's over.
It's going like how you thought it would.
Yeah. They throw a bomb.
60-yard bomb.
Yeah, 60-yard bomb that I didn't even... I think the defense was surprised. They're like, we didn't even know he could throw this far. Drops it perfectly, and heck, they could even... Yeah, they could even probably call pass interference.
Yeah, he was holding his hand, his arm, yeah.
Yeah, they were on the dude. Dude catches this Hail Mary pass to tie the game because they were down by 6. Dude throws his helmet off, thinking he won the game, thus pushing the field goal back by 15 yards. The kicker misses the extra point to win the game, and then they end up having to go into overtime.
They lost in overtime, by the way, by 3 on a field goal.
Did?
Yeah, they lost. So it was I checked right now because we're checking fantasy. It was the most Atlanta Carolina game. In my mind, the first thing that happened was we both screamed because we're like, shit.
We were losing it. We're like, this game's over. And then I see that guy throw his helmet. I see the yellow flag, and I'm like,
it doesn't get any.
They did not just.
Doesn't get any more Atlanta Carolina than that. And I literally remember looking at Nate, and I was like, that is the most Atlanta way to lose a fucking football game. And then he does that. They miss the extra point, and I was like, that is the most Carolina way to lose a football game.
Yeah, I can't believe because he probably actually makes the kick if they aren't 15 yards back. Because
100%.
If you see,
that was good from 30.
Yeah, it was good from 30, but it wasn't good from 40. I think at 45 it was off because he missed it only by like 2 yards to the right or whatever. But it was true for at least 30 yards. It would have been good.
It was bad. Like, anyway, the fact that they ended up losing that game, and I feel bad for DJ Moore because he's been waiting on like a breakout game like that.
Bro, he cost them the game. He tied them the game, and then he cost them the game.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the kicker needs to hit that, but still, like, dude, you gotta, like, that's why they're 2-6 now. And you know what the crazy, that's how bad that division is. The winner of that game took over first place of the division.
And so now the Falcons are 4-4 and they're number 1 in the division.
Right.
Which my buddy who's my barber, shout out to my boy Matt at Albuquerque Barber Lounge. If you guys want some fly barbers, they know what's up, man. They also, I remember their podcast. It's all about the hype. if you follow us on Instagram, they're one of our followers, or we're following them. They're super dope podcast that they have too. So check that out. Tons of great topics.
Plug in.
There you go. But yeah, my boy Matt is a diehard Falcons fan, so I got to talk to him about that. That they literally
fucking wild.
Clip's going to clip, and I thought the Falcons were going to Falcon, and by the sheer grace of some, him just losing his mind because he thought he won the game, they cost him the game.
Okay, so side note, real quick, I have Cooper Kupp. And he's carrying me. He just got like really badly hurt, and he got up and he walked off. Thank God.
You full panic mode.
No, but I feel bad, dude, because like he's literally carrying that offense. Like they're getting smacked on.
I can't believe that they didn't bring Odell back. They need a receiver.
Yeah,
and
I think we talked about this. There's something up there why they wouldn't bring him back. Like
I know he was hurt, but I really thought that they would. But did he blow out his ACL?
He did, yeah.
He's out probably this entire year then.
And on I don't remember what podcast it was, but he was talking about how he played hurt, like it was already messed up. And
going into the
game.
Yeah,
and then it was kind of interesting. So if you listen to, I don't remember who it was, another podcast, the Rams or the Bengals players or someone was on the field, and they're like, man, someone's going to get hurt. They're literally talking about how like the field in that spot.
The conditions where it was at.
And sure enough, Odell tore his ACL. And it's unfortunate. And we can talk about this, too, because I think sports injury is something that I freaking hate. And obviously, as a fan, everyone hates. But the turf thing versus the grass thing, have you heard about that?
In terms of people being more likely to get hurt on turf versus
yes.
grass. Yeah.
And I get grass is harder to maintain. But you have these athletes you're paying millions and millions of dollars to.
Let's put them in the best condition they can possibly.
100%, dude.
Like, and for sure, don't be putting them in a situation where they're gonna.
No, man. And like, dude, I cannot for the life of me. If you know this is a problem, invest in a grass field.
That's tough because even if you're like, if that's your home turf or your home field, you're gonna be like, please put grass.
Dude, even like, so Buffalo's a great example of like, I understand the turf, right? Because it's cold out there most of the time.
They won't be able to
it's hard to maintain, and when it's bad grass, you're basically playing on like dirt, right? But at some point, you kind of got to look at the numbers and be like, dude, we keep having people tear ACLs on our own field. It's tough. And so that's something definitely to like we can talk about later. But if you look at it, like, and players talk about this all the time, like grass, please put grass.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I don't think I've paid attention to it enough.
Take a look at it.
I've heard the same thing that people are more likely to tear their ACLs on grass or turf.
Turf. Yeah, and I think it's just the way that you bounce off the floor and like. But it's an interesting
cleat stick and the way that it gets caught whenever you.
It's interesting to for sure look at because. So going back to the Odell thing and like them needing help, like I don't know, man. He doesn't tear his ACL. He for sure has a job right now, but now he has a torn ACL. But at least he got a Super Bowl ring.
He's probably out a whole year, so maybe that's why they didn't pick him up. But I can probably see. But it's one of those things that if you expect him to come back, maybe you pay him a very low fee for rehabbing, and that we got the rights to you, and then obviously your payment picks up the next 2 years when you're supposed to come back.
I like Odell because I think I have like a different opinion of him than I think a lot of people. Like some people either love him or some people hate him. Like
I think he's been his own worst enemy.
Yes, and that's been my thing with him. But lately, it seems like he's kind of calmed down. And I saw this funny thing, and there were people talking about like he's on a free agent tour because he keeps going.
I keep wondering. I'm like, dude, you're on the field everywhere. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, so
I'm just like, hey guys,
you know what's funny is I wouldn't mind if he went to my Cowboys. Like even if he's just a little bit of himself.
Bro, I don't understand. Like, I don't know why you guys don't.
That's what I'm thinking. There's got to be something there for some reason for him to have not been picked up yet, and that people are like hesitating on him.
I wonder if he has some legal issues that we're unaware of.
Maybe not legal, but maybe just there's something coming back in his recovery. Because sometimes they won't. Obviously, the medical records, they like to keep him on the DL. But maybe there's something.
Just a bad tear.
Yeah, and some people are just like, for what we need him for, we don't think he can do that with the knee that he has now. Like maybe if they want him to play like slot. And just some of the cuts that he needs to make, he can't do as well as he used to.
Definitely interesting. Yeah, or maybe they just know he's going to be out a legit full year, and there's no point in talking to him right now.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's a lot of it too. Maybe they're just like, we'd rather have a full Odell, whatever he can be right now, versus like a shell.
Yeah.
So anyway, but football's been crazy today, man. Like there's been some like interesting fantasy numbers. Like I don't remember the last time I saw like everyone in fantasy football going off like they did today. Like it's been pretty crazy. Like
I think our picks are still staying true from what we talked about previously because Vikings still probably in the top 4 or 5 in the NFC.
They won
Cowboys
today.
are looking good.
Cowboys won.
The Eagles, I think, still won today.
Yeah, they did.
And
the one that I'm pissed off about is the Jets jetted. For some reason, Bill Belichick just seems to own them. Like, and they were at home.
That's always an interesting game because I feel like sometimes they'll be trash and they'll win that Patriots game for some reason.
Yeah, I totally called that QB controversy in New England, though.
100%.
Yeah, dude.
100%.
And the crazy thing is, like, Mac Jones played today, and I don't think he looked that good either. Again.
Dude, I think he's going to get...
Yeah, I think
he might
Zappy
lose.
plays decent against the Bears because he came out, had that really great drive to start the game. He plays decent the rest of that game. Like, we're not even talking about Mac Jones. It's Zappy's team.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
So, well, it's going to be interesting all year, but it's going to definitely be weighing on them, and that might be the reason why they might draft another quarterback again next year.
That's crazy. I wonder where they would get it. Obviously, it depends where they end up picking.
Yeah.
But I only know of homie from Alabama. Is there one other that is like a top?
I'd have to look, man. I know there's a few, but I don't want to just say random names and like sound like an idiot. So
I'm not as well versed, I think, with college football.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You know, the crazy part is like I still don't count New England out. Okay.
Well, that division's also a weird. Wait, so who's in that division?
Buffalo being as loaded as they are and as good as they are, and me having that much confidence in Josh Allen, I can officially say that is Buffalo's division now.
Man, I need Josh Allen to put up the biggest game because he is like my saving grace. He's the only guy on my team that I'm like confident with because homeboy will put up anywhere from 40 to 60 points on any given.
I need
weekend.
him to play like crap tonight because like he's in that league where I'm up. I mean, being up 80, he could have a 40-point game, but like
he might have a 60-point game. That's what I'm worried. That's what I need.
I need him to
do this.
No.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, I need you guys to. They're playing the Packers, bro. Just play really good for a half, and that's it. And call it.
Oh my God, they're playing the Packers. Even more of a reason. Crush the Packers.
Yeah, same.
Screw those Packers. I don't like the Packers because I'm a Vikings fan. Yeah. 2, I don't like the Packers because of Aaron Rodgers. I can't stand him.
He's an interesting person, man.
We talked about not a hot take, but definitely isn't one of my favorite. He's just an interesting dude. We talked about it in the last pod. Pretty much. Dude, okay, so one thing that I didn't know is supposedly the Devontae Adams was offered more by the Packers than he was by Raiders. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought that's interesting that he didn't want to stay. That maybe he was just so tired of Aaron Rodgers BS.
So they may have offered him more, but you have to look at the breakdown in the contract, right?
Yeah,
was it like incentive based more, or was it guaranteed? And he probably got more guaranteed with.
We'll have to look into that and come back.
Or that's why they did the trade, right? And he was just like they ended up deciding to trade him because he didn't want to take the money. Because I guarantee you, he probably was offered more by the Packers, but a lot of it was guaranteed or like incentivized money because they probably didn't want to have it on the books. Because a lot of that money gets when you do the salary cap, and that's so. We can talk about this real quick too. Like NBA, we got about 9 minutes. The NBA is right now. Adam Silver literally announced this the other day that they want to put a hard cap on the NBA, which is so funny. You talked about this last time.
I talked about this
how come the Lakers don't go into the luxury tax and like the Warriors do?
The Warriors are in the luxury tax to the degree that they're paying more for in the luxury than they are literally for their actual salaries.
So if there was a hard cap in the NBA, you wouldn't have the Warriors.
Not right now.
No, you wouldn't have the Warriors, and you wouldn't have. Go ahead.
No, they're way over the cap, is why. So
yeah, you wouldn't have the Warriors. There's a few teams that wouldn't exist right now with the hard cap in the NBA, where like that's why football kind of does the things that they do.
I'm not mad at it though. That if the owners are going to do it, I want the commitment. Like I'd rather not have a hard cap because like one thing I don't like about baseball is that there's no cap.
Yeah,
but if the team is willing to commit to that winning, do it. Because that's what I don't like about football is football's cap is so weird that you end up having these interesting.
I will say that in baseball, the amount of parity is pretty good. You have the team.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, and I think the reason for that is because you have teams. There's 2 different ways to build in baseball. There's buy your team, right?
Which is a Yankees.
I'll even throw my Red Sox in there every now and then. Dodgers for sure.
Dodgers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Our Red Sox.
That's the only team that I think we agree on is the Red Sox.
So that is pay to buy your team, and then you have teams like the Mariners and even the Astros. Like, people overlook this, but a lot of the base of the Astros they built through their farm system. So there's two different approaches to that. That's why they let Correa, or what's his name?
Cabrera?
No, Alex Correa. Correa is his name. They let him go. They didn't want to pay him, and so baseball is very interesting because they don't have a salary cap. So you can either like have a ton of money and just buy your team, or you can build. And I think from what we're seeing now is if you build a solid base, you can maintain consistency even though you don't have the most money.
Yeah.
And so a lot of teams are trying to learn from what the Astros did.
It's surprising given like the amount of money that the Yankees put out versus what they how often they actually win.
So this is such a great thing to talk about when it comes to baseball, about like how Bryce Harper's, I'm going to be real right now, this year that Bryce Harper's having, he's barely paying them back for the amount of money that they gave him.
Finally that he seems to be having a year, because this guy,
he's playing phenomenal in the postseason.
If you guys know balling, Bryce Harper, he was like this highly touted. He was basically the LeBron of baseball there for a while. He came out of school early. He pretty much bypassed college, I think.
Yeah, I don't think he played college.
Yeah, I think so. He bypassed college to make it into the MLB, and then he just has never panned out to the degree that I thought he was going to. Given the hype, he's been solid, like decent, but not to the degree they had this guy as like, this is the greatest thing.
Yeah, I would have said, career-wise, regular season, Mike Trout's been a better player than Harper, but you throw in this postseason, right? And the things he's doing, dude, if you look at his number, before the last game, he was batting 400.
He's playing amazing. This is the best. This is the craziest. I'm happy for him.
Me too.
Because I'm just like,
I like Bryce Harper.
Please have a great year, because you know what I mean. I think that this is the player that everybody thought he was going to be, and it's good to see him.
He brings a championship to Philly. Like, no one's going to care what he does with the rest of his career. Yeah,
legendary.
Because baseball is definitely one of those things where like not a lot of people win championships, but a lot of people are really good, and I think he was kind of teetering that line of like, I knew he was really good, but if he wins that championship and he plays the way he's playing, like, dude, no one's going to question Bryce Harper ever.
There's not a lot of like, and this may be an interesting take, but I don't know of very many baseball players that like, well, I don't know. You know, like in NBA, there's plenty of great players that never get a chip. There's plenty of great players in football that don't get a chip. Baseball, if you don't got a chip, it's interesting. They get forgotten a lot easier. Like, there's definitely a lot of great players that are still talked about, right? Like, but if they, King Griffey,
but you have to be that level of like amazing to bypass looking like not having a championship. Do we have 21 minutes total? Yeah, we're at 20 minutes, so we got a little bit of time. So going back to our hard cap thing, like, it's crazy. So if the NBA puts a hard cap like football has, it's gonna be dude, it would be crazy. I'd be interested.
I don't know if you can do it right now, because like it would have to take place like in 5-6 years.
Let me tell you why I think they're gonna do that, because I think they might add 2 expansion teams, and when they do the redraft, this is just me being like trying to think of like why you throw a hard cap now.
With the new teams, that would make more sense, because otherwise you're gonna
so
it would help distribute the.
I think that's why they want to do it. They want to have more competitive teams all across the league, and the hard cap would give them what they're hoping would give them that, and force.
Okay, so there's that take that they're gonna give 2 additional teams, bro. There's another take that there's basically gonna do like the Premier League, where they're gonna like, hey, if you're a bottom tier team, we're gonna put you to the G League essentially. That's a crazy take.
I did hear that, but then I also heard like Adam Silver was like, it was just kind of like, it's not really something I'm really looking into.
I don't know how they would.
But he definitely, like, from what I read, he definitely is like for sure like on the bandwagon for getting a hard cap. Now, would the owners be okay with that? I don't know. But if in your mind in 4 to 5 years you're thinking, okay, 2 more teams, you need to have a hard cap. Because there's going to be like, it's going to go from being like 3 to 4 teams where you just don't want to watch to, there's going to be teams that like they're just there to like have.
Well, I'm worried it's going to get watered down if you go 2 more teams. I really don't. I
think 2 more is okay.
2 more is okay.
Seattle and Las Vegas.
I'm not mad with bringing Seattle back. I miss Seattle.
I miss Seattle too. I miss the Sonics.
The Sonics, bro.
But yeah, man, if we want to wrap it up there, that's actually pretty good. But
cool. All right, guys.
I wouldn't be mad at those 2 teams.
Yeah. Cool deal. All right, guys. Well, thanks for hanging in there with us. We might have a pod come out next week. We might save it for 2 weeks out, but I think we're going to bring in our first guest, hopefully for in the near future. So stay tuned. If you guys have any questions, comments, please leave them in the description. We're doing this on YouTube and Instagram as of right now. Might clip them up and even might put them on TikTok, but we'll see. But thanks for hanging in there, guys. Appreciate it.
Man, thanks for the support. Like, thanks for watching. Like, even if you just watch a couple minutes and you're like, this is crap, like, we just appreciate you checking it out. And like,
this is all for fun. I really think, you know, I've been limited in my ability to do any type of other activities like sports, basketball, golf, video games. Yeah, man, we appreciate this has been my outlet, so I appreciate you guys
again, man. Like, we appreciate the criticism, we appreciate the feedback, we appreciate you even if you don't like us, and you just like, even if you click the link and you take a look for like 5 seconds, like, dude, anything, man. Like, we're just doing this for fun, and you know, so it might be interesting to some people, some people might not even care for it, but hey, thanks for the support. Yeah, we're having fun. Like, we're at the end of the day, we're just having a good time. So like, thanks for the support. Appreciate you guys, and more to come.
Later, guys. Appreciate it.